Hello everyone, we're going to install our IK chains to our on our legs in this clip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my rigging tab and I'm going to double click on this tool right here. It's the third one right next to the joint. This is the IK handle or IK tool, and I want to make sure the current solver is set on the rotate plane. All right, and I'm going to click on the left hip and then on the left ankle. And that's going to create a situation where I've got my IK handle and I've got my pole vector. My pole vector should be pointing to the front, and it is, which is perfect. All right, I'm going to click on the sacred tool icon or press Y on my keyboard, and I'm going to zoom in, option right click, and I'm going to go to my toe, and I'm going to press Y again, and I'm going to click from toe, or from the, not to the toe, but to the ball, and then click from the ball to the heel. So now I've got 3 chains, one here, and then another IK handle here. And what that's going to do, the way these point don't matter. The important one is this. This is called a pole vector, and we're actually going to constrain that in the next clip. I'm going to go back to my rotate plane IK tool, and I'm going to click on the right, press the Y key again, go to the ankle, press the Y key again, and go to the toe. So these are our IK handles. All right, I've got these are going to go to the left, and these 3 are going to go to the right. I'm not going to rename them because they're actually going to exist. They're going to reside in groups, and they're going to be hidden, so we're not going to have to deal with them. All right, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to install the control structures for these two, basically the legs. And to do that, I'm going to go back to my curves and surfaces tool. And I'm going to double click on my, this is the EP curve tool, and I'm going to set my curve degree to linear. And then what I'm going to do is, I don't really have any way to snap on this. So I can go to my top view, and I'm going to click somewhere right back around here. You know what? Actually, I could do this with I'm going to hold down the X key, and I can just quickly create a curve that goes all the way around here and hit return, and then I can scale this down. Now, why am I doing it this way? Because what this means is this is going to be the foot for my leg anyway. So if it fits around the foot, once I move the foot over and the leg over and bind it, it's actually going, this will be perfect. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move it over basically where the joint is, where the joint chain are. Now I'm going to snap this pivot point to this joint chain by holding down the D key. That brings up my move pivot point. And then I'm going to hold down the V key, which is snap to point, and I'm going to snap this up here, just to that. And then I'm going to go to Modify, Freeze Transformations. I'm going to rename this Arty _LF _ankle _CTRL. I'm going to duplicate it. Hold this time just the V key, not the D key, and I'm going to snap this to the right side. And I'm going to freeze my transformations. And I'll change this to RT. I'll do it manually. Okay, so now I've got my foot controls. They're frozen. The pivot points are in the ankle. That's where I want them. Now I'm going to make my pole vector constraint. To do that, I'm going to go to my right view, go back to my EP curve tool. I keep double clicking on that. I don't really need to. And I'm going to make it large, and I'm going to scale it down. So I'm going to hold down the X key, and that's going to snap to grid. Then I'll just snap to these parts right there. I'm going to modify center pivot to bring my pivot in here. And I'm going to scale this down to a reasonable size. It doesn't have to be huge. I mean, it doesn't have to be super small. And then I'm going to freeze my transformations to get rid of the scales. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to snap it. I'm going to hold down the V key, and I'm going to snap it to, and I'll go to my perspective view if I have to. I'm going to snap it to one of these these joints. Probably the top one's going to be best. And then I'm going to move this back in space. Okay. Probably to about, I missed it. I'm going to go about right there. For some reason, the display will blacken when I do this. And that has to do with the graphics card on my laptop where I'm making this. All right, so I've got this control. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it and I'm going to rename it. I'm going to call it Arty LF underscore knee pointer PTR control. Every control is going to have that CTRL on the end, but that's going to be its purpose. Now the easiest way to duplicate this and put it in the exact same spot on the right side is just to press Command D and then change this to a negative. This one I'll call RT pointer. Control 1, there we go. And there is our right pointer. I'll select both of these and go to Modify, Freeze Transformations. And so now we've got basically our control structures that are going to control our entire leg hierarchy, and it's going to control our foot, and it's going to point our knees just with these two controls. These are going to be really powerful. So in the next clip, what we will do is we will put together our groups to control our foot, and then we will begin to we'll install our pole vector constraints and all that kind of good stuff. So stick around.